Hello, I'm Hui Donghu from the National Space Science Center, China. My talk is about the spectroscopic and the imaging observations of spatially extended magnetic reconnection in the splitting of a solar filament structure. This is the outline. First, we'll introduce the motivation, and in the last part, we'll conclude and discuss the results. The details are in this paper. In both high temperature and low temperature channels, Doppler shifts of bidirectional outflows have already been observed. However, this kind of Doppler shifts have only been observed in small-scale regions on the Sun. But we know that the large-scale flare ribbons are also associated with reconnection. But we have not observed spectroscopic signature of large-scale reconnection yet. Models and imaging observations have suggested that reconnection can occur inside a solar filament and cause the splitting. However, there is no definite spectroscopic evidence for this kind of reconnection yet. Further, energy partition in reconnection is also in debate. Simulations suggest that most energy from the magnetic field is converted to thermal energy. However, observations also suggest that there are cases that kinetic energy is much larger than the thermal energy. To our case, in active region 2665, there's a filament structure consists of two filament branches. On the time, there's a brightening between the two branches. After the brightening, the two branches are separated. That means this filament structure is split. And after the splitting, the upper filament branch endured two flares and they erupted. But the lower filament branch survived the two eruptions. This plot shows the brightening and the splitting of the filament structure. And we can see that the lower filament survived the two eruptions. The brightening and the splitting is captured by iris spectroscopic observations on a very rare occasion. We analyze the iris data and we see large blue and red Doppler shifts that is between the two filament branches, which are also spatially corresponding to larger line width and intensity enhancement. These are clear signature of reconnection outflows. We estimate the scale of the reconnection region that is about 20 arcseconds, that is about 14 megameter. We further investigate the two slits of the filament, two slits of the iris scan, and we can see that the line of sight velocity decreases rapidly beyond the reconnection site. And what's more interesting is that on the blue shift side, there is line broadening on each slit. We suggest that the broadening may be caused by the interaction between the upward outflow and the upper filament branch. We have employed the differential emission measure to estimate the temperature, density, and energy. This plot shows the temporal temperature. We can see that during the reconnection, the temperature increased about 9 megakelvin and reaches to 14 megakelvin. And the density is also almost doubled during the reconnection. The ratio of thermal energy to kinetic energy is over 9. That means in this case, the thermal energy is also dominated. The thermal energy dominated the kinetic energy. And the total energy is about 10 to the 27th ergs, which is comparable to nanoflares or transients or small-scale transients. This plot shows that the two low temperature channels of AIA the flux increase before the high temperature channels. That is consistent with the heating process derived from the DEM result. We here conclude the result that we have provided definite spectroscopic evidence for the splitting of a solar filament by magnetic reconnection in the extended region. The reconnection occurred on the magnetic field lines between two filament branches, and after the reconnection, the two branches are separated. The reconnection region extended to an unprecedented length of about 14 megameter, and the upward flow may interact with the upper filament branch. After the reconnection, the filament branch is split into two. The filament structure is split into two branches, and the upper branch erupts eventually, and the lower branch remains. The temperature is up to 14 megakelvin, and the thermal energy dominates in this event. We suggest that the remaining lower branch filament may provide material for following eruptions. And indeed, 9 days later, in the same active region, the active region produced another multiple solar filament eruptions. That it means our case also provides implications in successive filament eruptions from the same active region and their effect in space weather. I'm going to stop here. More details are all in this letter. Thank you.